During a breakup, John and Jane finally find out what happens after getting 3 fails. Unsurprisingly, the pair turn on each other, and episode 8 even offers a nice little nod to the original movie. The other Smiths make their return, but this time, they're not as friendly. Mr. and Mrs. Smith season 1 ends on a rather frustrating cliffhanger without giving any answers. And while we don't know John and Jane's fate by the time the credits roll, we do find out who the hot neighbor truly is. The season finale opens with a slightly depressed Jane waking up next to her cat, cleaning her teeth, and sitting down to catch up on some emails. There's a message from Hihai instructing her to terminate John. After grabbing breakfast, she pulls out a can to feed Max but is interrupted by gunshots through the window. It thankfully missed Jane, but sadly hit the cat. R.I.P. Max, you were a good kitty and my favorite character in this series. As for John, he's moved out of his matrimonial spy home and is living with his mother. Upon arrival at his mother's home, he notices something amiss and narrowly avoids tripping on the bomb someone from the company left him. John immediately texts Jane, and the two agree to meet at an art museum. When they come face to face, the two exchange pleasantries, but it's clear they're blaming each other for the failed attempt on their lives. John and Jane chase each other, threaten to kill one another, start a fight in the park, and almost get arrested for their troubles. What's John's real name? Jane arrives at the house, where she's surprised to find John's mother, Denise, in the kitchen. Of course, Denise knows John by his real name, Michael. Meanwhile, John can't get through his front door, so he asks the hot neighbor to let him try the back door from his house. Inside the neighbor's house, John realized the man had been watching them. However, he isn't a spy, just a real estate agent obsessed with their house. After John makes his way into the house and with Denise long gone, thankfully, the happy couple start shooting at each other in a scene reminiscent of the iconic Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie fight from the 2004 rendition of Mr. and Mrs. Smith. With both of them seriously tired and injured, John gets the upper hand and ties his spy wife to a chair. He then proceeds to inject her and himself with the truth serum. What confessions do John and Jane make while on truth serum? Now compelled to tell the truth, Jane admits to loving John and to having failed the CIA test for showing sociopathic tendencies. She also never really slept with any targets. John confesses to being kicked out of the Marines for medical reasons. The conversation turns sappy when John admits he still wants to have kids with Jane. Both of them also claim they had a couple of clear shots at each other but couldn't bring themselves to kill the other. After exchanging a few more cute confessions, Jane finally confronts John about killing Max. The two realize someone else has been trying to kill them in time to greet their new friends, the other Smiths, who enter the house with keys given to them by Hihai or Soup, as other John calls them. What do the super high-risk Smiths do? The second Smith couple offers them a drink. As it turns out, the super high-risk missions involve terminating other Smiths. That's their entire job. Even the guy John and Jane had to kill in El Salvador a few episodes back was a former Smith. According to the other Smiths, Hihai is as close to a god as it gets, and the first time the couple met was no accident. When other John gets a case of the 3 sneezes, our heroes take a chance to make a run for their panic room. Unfortunately, John gets shot during the struggle, and he's bleeding out fast. How does Mr. and Mrs. Smith season 1 end? John and Jane are stuck in their panic room without any bullets or an escape plan. John suggests they wait until it gets dark to make their next move, but he doesn't seem to have that much time left. The two have a heart-to-heart where Jane tells John her real name is Alana. She then decides to open the panic room door and take her chance at killing the other Jane, who's right outside the door. In the next shot, we see gunshots going off inside the house, but it's unclear if our heroes made it out alive. The following day, the hot neighbor walks into the house and sees the mess from the previous night's fighting. After viewing the carnage, he appears happy that he might now get the chance to sell the coveted house. What did you think of Mr. and Mrs. Smith Season 1 Episode 8 and the ending? Comment below.